Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm back with another video. Well, it's been a long time since I've did a video, you guys, but we just gonna jump right into it. I have some free time, and I was thinking about a couple things that I had read in the past, and I don't know if everybody know about this. So I figure, well, maybe let me come and share some things with you guys. And you can look this stuff up for yourself, which is why I have it on the screen. Um, this is called A Message from Our Space Brothers. This was a lecture that was given by George Hunt Williamson, and this was in June 21st, 1954. So this like 68 years ago, you guys. And what caught my attention is the date was June 21st. Well, today is June 20th. Tomorrow is going to be June 21st. So I was just like, why did I come to this message again? Okay, so I just thought that was real interesting, and I wanted to discuss some things that I also found in a book. It's called 38 Messages from Space. So it's the Wilbur Smith Archives remix. So of course, this doesn't even have all the pages to it. I was trying to find a PDF online, but this is the closest I can get to it. I actually have the full book, and it's like up to 100 pages. So I actually have the whole thing and read the whole book, and I thought this is really interesting. It's a lot of things that were, covered up by our government when extraterrestrials came here and visited us back in, as you can see, back in 1954. And this basically coincides with the same thing with George Hunt Williamson, you guys. Like, y'all see this 1954 here, and then also 1954 over here, and these are like two different people, y'all, and they were visited. So clearly there were UFOs or ships here, and they were speaking to multiple people around the world and giving them messages. Okay, so let's just read some of this. Now, I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, I'm not gonna read this whole thing. Okay, so I'm gonna just pretty much kind of scan over it and just read certain paragraphs. If you want to read it yourself, boom, go to Google, type this in, it will pop up. Okay, so, and you see the website up here, so you can do it yourself. And with this as well, this other one, you can type this in, 38 Messages from Space. If you want to buy the actual book, you can buy it as well. So I'm sure if you Google this, it will show you where you can purchase this from, so that you can have it in your own hands and you can read the entire thing yourself, so you can understand the full picture. Okay, and I actually saw this from watching Gaia, and I was listening to David Wilcox, and in some of his wisdom teachings, which is really good, you guys. You should, if you don't have Gaia, I think you should watch Gaia. Gaia discloses a lot of information, but of course they still try to cover up a lot of stuff, but you still have to kind of do your own research. They're going to give you hints and stuff, and you have to figure this stuff out for yourself. They provided the information, but you have to be the one to go seeking, and you have to be the one to research if you really truly want to know the truth. Okay, because our government's they're not just gonna come out and tell y'all all this stuff. They're gonna tell you bits and pieces of it. Okay, so anyways, I want to just get straight into it because I thought this was interesting, y'all. When I first discovered this message by George Hunt Williamson, I was like, what in the world? This really went on. I wasn't even born at this time, y'all. So this was like, I was just thinking, I'm like, dang, I wonder where I was. I wasn't even on Earth. So I had a thought, you guys. Y'all might think it's crazy, but I had a thought. I said, well, this 1954, I wasn't even born yet. So many of us know that we was, living, okay, somewhere else prior to our incarnation on earth. So it's like, well, what was I doing this time? What was I doing in the other worlds, in the heavens? Where was I? What was I doing? Y'all, I'm finna read this and then I'll probably tell y'all what I think afterwards, okay? Because I think this stuff is interesting because they came here and I think they sent some people in and came here and was incarnated here on this planet because they couldn't get the job done what they was wanting to do when they came here the first time in 1954. I think they sent in a lot of people undercover. I think they came in incarnated here in a human body, and they've been on the earth doing work. That's just my thoughts, but we finna go here because some of this stuff mentions some of this as well. So let me see, because I might miss some stuff. That's why I want y'all to look it up yourself. Read the entire lecture, okay? So I'm just gonna scan over this, but let me just go down below to some things, because I be liking to get to the point, y'all. I don't be having time to be reading all this stuff. I already read it before. So this here all talks about, their experiences and stuff with flying saucers and things like that, all their experiences and observations of these UFOs and things like that. So, and talking about how they've made radio contact, with saucers and stuff. So let's go down. Let's go further down. We finna do investigation, y'all. We finna go through this and see what's going on. And that's probably what I'll try to do. I might just start coming online and just picking random things to just look at. Okay, we gonna do an investigation. That's what we gonna do. So let's see. Let's pick something. Let's start reading. Let's see. I don't know. Let's just start here. Okay, so it says the radio man decided to run some sort of a test and told them he was operating at a disadvantage because they knew who he was, but he did not know who they were. He asked, as you have made this contact, you must be interested in us. Therefore, will you give us some type of assurance so that we can know that you are who you say you are? They replied immediately and said, yes, yes. If you will get a glass, we will be by Solus at high time tomorrow. We took that to mean that if we would get a telescope, they would be by the sun at noon the next day. We did not have a telescope and did not know exactly what they meant by being by the sun. Just a sign, y'all. Think about the Bible, y'all. Man, look, they be giving you, man, if y'all don't know by now, these extraterrestrials are very smart and very intelligent. And the way that things come through here in this matrix is designed for you guys to pick up on these codes. Okay, it's like secret codes, secret words that they be trying to tell you. Okay, but you got to pick it up. Okay, sun at noon. Okay, so it's telling you at noon. Okay, I'm just trying to tell y'all what's going on. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on with the sun. Okay, well, anyway, we got ships coming through the sun. Okay, I just want to throw that in there right now. People doing videos, y'all, with ships coming through the sun, but I'll talk about that later. Anyway, so it says, I went out the next day and looked up at the blazing sun, but of course did not see anything. However, that evening, the newscast coming up from Phoenix, Arizona at 5:45 p.m. announced that a large fleet of the so-called flying saucers had been sighted around noon that day. See? Okay? The ships was sighted at noon that day. They had already done told them to look up in the sky at noon and look at the sun, okay? This y'all should get this. I ain't got to go over this because I know it's a lot of people out there, they just don't be believing stuff, okay? Anyway, it says this could have meant something, but we did not want to jump at conclusions and decided to wait until something else developed. The next day, the Los Angeles Times reported that Mount Wilson Observatory in the middle part of the previous day had observed tremendous sunspots suddenly appear on the sun. Now, there is nothing unusual about sunspots on the sun, except that this was a period of declining sunspot activity. There should be any sunspots, at least not large ones, and instead of their lasting the usual 2-week to 30-day period, these sunspots lasted only one day. We do not know if there is any connection or not, or if this is just a strange coincidence. Nah, nah, it got something to do with them ships, okay? Anyway, it says, I would like to mention that I am not a technical man. One of the reasons anthropology appealed to me was that I did not have to take mathematics. It is said that the men go into anthropology because they do not have to take mathematics, and the women go into it because there are men in it. Now, what I tell you as we get into more scientific terminology this evening is for you to accept or reject. I am not going to inject any of my own opinions or ideas, for I am sure you are not interested in my opinions. However, I do feel that the experience that I have had and the experience of others with flying saucers should be told. We were very much interested in our radio contest and wanted to find out if it was all true. The radio man decided to run a test. He was on 40 meters and asked a question and got an immediate answer. Then very quickly he switched to 160 meters and asked another question, and the answer came in promptly. The 40 meters that he was going to switch to 160 meters, the man would not have had time to find him and therefore could not have heard the question and could not have answered it. That was one of the first tests he made. I'm trying to see if I want to skip this and go forward. Let's just keep going. Then one night, a cousin of his visited him while he was in communication with another ham. He did not mention saucers to the cousin, but they heard a strange buzzing sound outside. Sorry, y'all. Y'all look. They heard a strange buzzing sound outside. That's another clue. How many people be hearing buzzing sounds in their ear? I do. I'm going to tell y'all about my experience, okay? That's why I'm going over this, because listen, this is interesting, y'all. That's how you be knowing that them ships be out there and they be trying to communicate to you. I'm trying to tell y'all something, okay? Anyway, let's keep it going. Now, where was I? Where I left off at, y'all? Okay, so he has a fluorescent tube on the outside of his shack, and when he is sending messages, it flashes on and off. He asked his cousin to go outside and see if there was anything wrong. The cousin did and called to him to come outside quickly. You might think I'm crazy, but I think that there is one of those flying saucers, he said excitedly. Above the antenna, a large orange disc was hovering, but it soon took off at a high speed. Then the radio man told his cousin what he had been doing in trying to establish radio contact. The radio man figured as long as they had contacted him by radio, perhaps they would be willing to land in some remote area. He asked them, and they replied they would be willing to land. Oh, land? Wait a minute now. It would just be another saucer sighting, and there are hundreds of such sightings. Then the radio man made all the arrangements as to where we would go the next day to make the contact. He was to drive in one car and we would follow him in our car. That same evening, the radio man's father-in-law came in from Tennessee. He was quite an elderly gentleman and was very senile and childish and could not keep his balance. He was really a sick man. The radio man had finished transmitting for the evening when his daughter came into the shack and told us that she had quite a problem as to what to do about the elderly gentleman. She felt they should not take him with them on the trip in which they hoped to contact the space people, and she felt she could not leave him alone. If she took him on the trip and he saw something unusual, he might have had a heart attack. And certainly she could not tell him that she was going out to contact a man from another world. Also gonna have a heart attack. Okay. Also, she was afraid that if they saw him, they might not want to land. What kind of mess is this? Okay, so it says we discussed. See, y'all gonna have me sitting here reading this whole thing. I ain't got time for this. Okay, so it says we discussed this problem for at least an hour, and we were not attempting any experiment in mental telepathy or anything like that. It never entered our minds. The receiver was on as always, and all at once a message came in which said, let me see what this thing said. Now, about the father. Believe me, I think my hair stood on end when I looked over the radio man's shoulder and saw what he was writing. The radio man turned around looking very pale and said, believe me, if I ever doubted, I do not now, because this is impossible. But it is happening before my very eyes. These space people told us about the old man's condition. Clearly they watching, y'all. Which was verified later by a doctor. They also said there was a saline solution by the bed. I'm sorry, y'all. By the bed, which was hampering the contact, and asked that someone remove it and clean it up. The daughter went inside and found the solution. She came back looking very pale also. The space people seemed to know everything that went on in the ham shack and in the house. Y'all, they can see everything and they know everything that's going on. Clearly that should be telling us that they know everything that's going. They probably know I'm reading this right now. Hey, y'all. And it's 10:44 a.m. Y'all, that's a light code. Oh my God, they probably in the clouds watching me as I'm reading this. Y'all, what y'all think? Let me see if I hear a buzzing sound. Okay, I'm just playing, y'all. Listen, I like to have fun with this stuff. People be all just too uptight. Now look, if they come in here in them ships, they need to come pick me up. Okay, so listen, I done forgot where I'm at. Okay, so okay, I forgot where I'm at, y'all. Dang it. Okay, so okay. Woo, Lord, I needed that laugh. Y'all have no idea. Okay, so let's start here. So this message in connection with the elderly gentleman was the longest, and I feel that it was the most significant message we received. But they said it would be all right for us to take him with us the next day. Their parting sentence was, never fear the age, for they can help when they are brought back into life again. You will all have to interpret that for yourselves, but I feel that it is very important. What in the world? Y'all. Okay, let me scan through this, y'all. Let me see what's the next part, okay? Let me see what's going on. Woo! Child, I don't know. Let me just keep going. So The next day, a 14-year-old boy from next door who was staying with his uncle, a colonel in the Air Force, came over and asked us what happened last night. The radio man thought this strange because he was on the air almost every night and the neighbors were used to this. He asked the young boy what he meant and if he had seen anything unusual. The boy replied when he woke up and gave the time he awakened, which was the same time we were having the radio contact about the old gentleman. He looked out from the glassed-in porch where he had been sleeping and saw a long tubular shaft of white light above the house. White light above the house, a tubular shaft. Oh, no. He could not see where it ended. As it kept going straight up into space, y'all. The lower end went right down into the house and into the bedroom. Whoa, y'all. So this is a tubular shaft. So it's this pillar of light. Y'all just imagine now you in the house, okay? And you see this white light above the house. And it's going straight up in the sky. Look, somebody about to get abducted. You finna be going up in that ship, okay? Now look. They need to come over here because I'm tired, okay? Now look. Okay, so it says the lower end went straight down into the house and into the bedroom. The boy said he knew he was not dreaming. He wasn't dreaming, y'all. He said he was fully awake and he knew what he saw. Okay, is some people gonna start seeing these pillars of light around the earth? Okay, coming into their house, into their bedroom. I don't know, y'all. And y'all wonder where they get these movies from. This happened in real life, and they just took the events that happened in the past and they created a movie to make you think that, oh, this is just fairy tale, this ain't true, all that. And they want you to fear UFOs, and they be giving you these little strange little creatures coming out of the UFO when these people be looking just like us. Anyway, let's keep going. This was just another check, for no one knew what we were doing. In fact, I did not tell my father until months later, but he was quite skeptical and thought we were being hoaxed. However, I have since heard from my mother, and she said father finally saw a flying saucer, and it was confirmed by his friend, the head of the Weather Bureau. So my father is beginning to wonder too. Unfortunately, we did not succeed in making our contact the next day. The radio man went on first, and we were to meet him. However, in trying to follow his car, we went into a great deal of traffic and we lost him. He took a left fork in the road, which we unfortunately did not see him take. We tried hard to find him but could not. When we all returned later that evening, we made radio contact with the saucer people again, and they said that the plans had been changed, but that when all was ready, we would be contacted by a man. By a man. I did not know what they meant. You know what they meant. But that is what they said. Now, I know you must wonder what all this means. I don't know, because I know what it means. It is very interesting to speak to a Venetian on the desert and to talk to a saucer by shortwave radio, but really, when the novelty wears off and the excitement subsides, what does it mean? You know what this means. If it just means that some stray Venetian happened to drop down and talk to a man in the desert and took off again, and that will be the end of it, it does not mean much. The people of the world are asking what it means. I'm gonna tell you what it means. If saucers are interplanetary and they are coming here, what does it mean to us? You know what this means, y'all. Are they here to conquer us? They already did. Are we the bad ones? Are they here to conquer us? Are we all going to be annihilated? Really? Surely some of the benevolent beings in the universe would not allow that to happen. But anyways, what does it mean and why have they come? We ask these and all manner of similar questions. Mm, 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 mm. One of the questions was asked by my wife as she is interested in medicine. Oh, y'all, check this out. It says, "You have such tremendous development in spaceships, etc. Have you advanced in medical science?" They answered with just no. We were amazed and said, "That does not seem right. You have spaceships, yet you have not advanced in medical science. Why?" The answer was simple: no disease, no medical science. Now, isn't that amazing, you guys? There ain't no disease. There ain't suffering. There is no need for no medical science. There's no need for no drugs. There's no need for cures. There's no need for any of that because none of them are sick. Ain't that crazy? But we on the earth suffering and stuff, okay? Now it says they also said it was not natural for man to die in agony of cancer or other diseases. And that is not the germs we have that cause disease. The germs are merely the scavengers, and it is incorrect thinking that causes disease. Woo-hoo-hoo. We asked about the length of life, check this out, on the other planets. They replied that on Mars or Venus, the inhabitants live, y'all, between 300 to 1,500 years. What? 300 to 1,500 years on Mars or Venus, but a lot of people say, oh, it ain't nobody living on Mars or Venus. Well, guess what? They done told y'all it's some people living on Mars and Venus, but guess what, y'all? They probably not living in the third dimension, like, or third density. They probably in fourth density, fifth density beings, y'all, that you cannot see. I'm just trying to tell y'all something. You can't see them. They in a higher vibration. Okay. Anyway, it says, and when they have learned the lessons of the planet they have been living on, and then they are ready to go to the next, they merely what? Pass out of the picture. They pass out of the picture. They pass out of the picture. Yeah, I'm just saying, it got something to do with vibration. Okay, you start to I like to say phase shift because I experienced something like that in a vision. It was more like in the astral planes, you guys. It was like 1 minute I was like in my astral form, and then it was like I started to phase shift. I don't know what to call it, but it was like something inside of me. I don't know what it was, y'all. I'm just still trying to figure this stuff out. But my body was vibrating so fast that I started to phase out of reality, and then I jumped into another reality and I was somewhere else. I was like, hold on, wait a minute, now what? And then when I experienced a few things in another world, I phase shifted out of it, and my thought, I just like, I wanted to be back in my room where I was at, and then I just beamed back in my room in that body. And I was like, how did I just phase shift out from that one reality, and then I just phase shift in another reality? And y'all, I was in the astral realm, so clearly this is where your higher bodies are held, okay? And you can move through different densities, y'all. You can move through different bodies. I don't know, y'all. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. Now, look, I'm no expert, okay? I'm still trying to figure out my own experiences to figure out, oh, it's 10:55. That's a light code for me, okay? Clearly, I'm on point with something. I don't know, maybe they wanted me to share this, but I'm about to end this video because I don't want to make it long, and I'm going to do like a part 2, part 3, part 4, whatever, to keep reading through this because I don't want to make it a full hour video. So I'll probably go for another 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to end it and then do another video. But y'all, I don't know what was going on in the astral realm, but your girl was phase shifting. I experienced a couple of other things too, where I was actually in the astral planes, and I went through a portal. I was able to actually go through a portal. Oh, y'all, man, I just got so much to tell y'all. Like, I was I actually had a crystal that was next to me when I went to sleep in one experience, and I had my amethyst. That's my favorite crystal, right? So I had the stone next to me when I was sleeping. So clearly, it was activating um, me. Okay, it was activating my light body, my Merkaba. It was preparing me to travel. And at that point in my life, I was really just solely focusing on higher vibrational things, and I was always reading. I was not worrying about anything in the world, y'all. I was just focusing on my spiritual awakening, my spiritual growth. I was seeking out the Most High. um I was just really tuning into higher vibrational things, and that's when I started to have all of these higher vibrational experiences. So I just went to sleep, and it was not in a matter, it was like in a matter of 1 second. When I closed my eyes, I was in my room, and I was in the room, and I was aware that I was in my body, but I was about to come out of my body. But as I was um inside of my room in my body, I heard a sound, and I was like, what is this sound? And it was like, y'all, I'm gonna try to describe it. I'm just so animated, man. Y'all wish y'all could see me. So I was like, I was in the room, and it was like whoosh, 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 like something was starting. I said, well, what that sound is? It sound like something is starting, like an engine or something was starting up. Like, like on the ship and stuff, like the propeller and stuff. I don't know, y'all. It was like the wheels was starting. And I said, what's something rotating? Y'all was like, oh my God. I was like, something rotating. I said, ooh, let me feel. Oh, something about to happen, y'all. Something about to happen. So I'm crazy like this for real. Like in my astral state, I'm like, man, thinking like, oh my God, something about to happen. So I'm like, hearing the sounds, it kept increasing. It was like whoosh, 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 and it kept going faster and faster and faster. And the sounds got louder and louder. The vibration, just the frequency just got louder and louder, until at that moment when I felt something spinning around me. It felt like winds was. Actually, I could feel the winds around me, like I was inside of some rotating wheels, y'all. This is when I knew I was inside of my Merkava, and I was about to take off into space, y'all. Yes, this was the moment, y'all. But I wasn't ready. Dang it, y'all, I wasn't ready. I was like, y'all, listen. I was like, dang it. Oh my God, I'm about to just speed off. I said, oh no, it's going too fast. Oh Lord, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I was panicking. But before I could say stop, y'all, it was ready to go. And I just said, whoosh, and I started to go forward. Y'all, I started to just go forward. I went through my house. Y'all, I went through the rooms of my house, and then everything around me started to phase shift again. Then I started to see like I was in another world, and it was like going in and out, phasing in and out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in between worlds. I'm like, what is going on? I was like, feel like I was in like another dimension, or I was like in different timelines. I don't know. I think it was time, y'all. I think I was going through time, and I was in my room, but I was in somebody else's house at the same time. And I saw somebody else's house, and I was going through their house, y'all. And I was looking in there, and I was like, what in the world? And I looked, and my Merkaba, I just went through it. Y'all, was invisible. I just kept going. So then I came out on the other side. Y'all, I don't know where I went, y'all. And I said, stop, stop. I was trying to tell my Merkaba to stop, because it was literally going so fast, y'all. I had no control over it. So, of course, this teaches me at that time, when I had this years ago, that I needed to learn how to control everything. I was going, my wheels were rotating extremely fast, and I didn't know how to control where I was going, where I was, pretty much traveling to in space. I don't know, I was just going for the joyride, okay? Where I was going to end up at, I didn't know. So I ended up somewhere, y'all. It was somewhere desert-like, because I didn't see anything. It was like more desert, and I seen a road, and I was in somebody's car. I was passing through somebody's car as they was in the road. They didn't see me. I saw them. I looked up to the sky. Guess what I saw? I guess them ships knew that I wasn't supposed to be there, because I saw a fleet of UFOs in the sky, and I looked up, and I was like, I know they probably can see me. I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, oh God, I got to get back to the house. And I'm like, I don't know where that is. Y'all, clearly they must have heard my thoughts. They must be knew that I needed to be redirected and I needed to go back to where I came from. The ships came around, y'all. They descended. They ended up behind me. I was in front of them, like I was at the head of the fleet. Y'all, it was like they was pushing me. Y'all, oh my God, I don't know what, I want to know who that was. They was behind me. It was a whole bunch of them. And I was like, I ain't know where I was at. So I'm like, man, I just want to go home. Because I didn't know what was going on. So I went and I saw, they put me inside of a vortex, y'all. I don't know, y'all. I felt myself spiraling up. I was literally in a vortex, y'all. A vortex. I felt myself spiraling up and I was going around in the spiral, and then I ended up back in my room, and I got back in the room and I was in my body, and then I woke up and then I jumped up really fast and I was like, what in the world? And I kind of like looked at the time. I said, hold on, I wasn't even asleep for like 1 or 2 minutes. I said, I had literally just closed my eyes. Y'all, all that had done happened within like 1 or 2 minutes, no lie. It was like it happened so fast. And I said, I ain't do nothing but just close my eyes, and I had that experience. It felt like I was gone for some time. I had done went and exploring, went through somebody's house. I had done went somewhere, and the ships helped me get back to the house because I didn't know where I was at. What time was I at? What time was I in, y'all? I don't know. Look, this stuff is crazy, okay? Because your girl didn't know nothing about what happened. I just knew afterwards that I was traveling in my Merkava because I had been learning about all of this stuff. So it was like preparing me a little by little, and then it triggered the experience, just boom, and it happened, and I was vibrating so high that I had that experience. And y'all, when I tell y'all, it was like, man, it was fun. It was fun, y'all, but I was scared at the same time because I didn't know where I was going. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Okay, I wanted to leave y'all with something because I be talking a lot, but I want to go and let me see if I can remember my place, and then I'm going to continue reading. Let me see where I left off at. Okay, I'll just start here on the next video, somewhere here. So anyway, thank y'all for listening to this video or watching this video. I'll be back with another video shortly.